Contact us to avail the combo offer of General Studies and Public Administration optional with 20% discount.
Good morning everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, so we will discuss important developments from 29 October 2021, the Hindu newspaper. Okay. So yes, important articles. On first page, you can see that India will stress climate justice at global summit, says our environment minister. So yes, the same thing again. What is India's that stand at COP26? Though the government is saying that it is open to, let's say, give the target for net zero, but up till now there is no official statement. So we'll look at how the summit goes on and what India is going to have the commitments at COP26. Okay, so again the climate justice concept and everything. Today we will discuss many such articles from environment section. Okay, there are editorial also. Then on op-ed page also there is article written by UN General Secretary. Okay, so we will take input from climate change aspect. Now, moving on. Yes, directly coming to the page number 8, editorial page. See, there is one article, getting the focus back on early childhood education. Early childhood education has become the part of, yes, now education, formal education system, we can say when NEP 2020 was enacted. Okay, so there is change in the educational structure now, and early childhood education, or we call it as preschool education, since the age of 3. Now the preschool education is also going to be part of formal schooling, okay, or formal education. So yes, the article talks about the importance of early childhood education, and then it talks about the importance of active parental engagement in ensuring such early childhood education, especially during pandemic. Okay, and what are the challenges involved and the way forward. So it specifically talks about the role of parents in the early childhood education, or parental engagement. It is not talking about specifically formal education system. Okay, so that kind of question can be asked in GS2 paper governance, or GS4 paper ethics part is there, right? So there also the role of parents, role of teachers in education also, or we can say inculcation of various values aspects is there. Now UPSC last year asked about NEP 2020, no? So indirectly we should understand that the focus of UPSC is asking such question from education sector or any other such sector relevant to our syllabus part. Now on left hand side, on bottom side we can see a climate dividend. This again editorial talks about COP26 and the present stand that government of India is going to have at COP26, or likely stand we can say. Along with that, the second part, it talks about that though India, if it is not giving or committing for net zero emissions, still India should have the ambitious targets and move towards cleaner sources of energy, and that is going to benefit India itself. So from that aspect the article is written. On op-ed page, see the topmost article, the perils of ideological certitude. To some extent the religious aspects they are explained here. See, former Vice President Mr. Hamid Ansari, he writes the article from, let's say, the kind of communalism that country faces, the aspects or protection of rights of minority in the country. So largely he writes from those, let's say, aspect. GS1 paper, you should be aware about the philosophical aspects. There is mention of, let's say, communalism or communism. All these, let's say, philosophies are mentioned there. At the same time, it is part of society, Indian society syllabus part, right? So, but you should be understanding, we need to take some balance, let's say, view whenever we talk about the protection to the minority or we should not take such kind of extreme view. Okay, so still the article we will say that not having significance for our examination. Simply I would say that. Then on left hand side, a clear signal, India China, again the India China border talks and everything is discussed. Recently we talked about the Chinese law, land law that was passed, enacted, and the China had rejected such concerns by India. देखेंगे हम वो भी आर्टिकल आगे लिखा हुआ है, ठीक है. The same things are explained there. Now on right hand side op-ed page, should the NDPS Act be amended? Now too much technical things about that particular act are mentioned there, right? So we know that Aryan Khan and the drug case is going on, and let's say various provisions of this NDPS. You should be referring to last Sunday's The Hindu newspaper analysis FAQ page. There was explained page or FAQ page on The Hindu newspaper on Sunday. Okay, and it talked about various provisions of this NDPS. So just remember these provisions. Okay, how it is difficult to get the bail under this act, and it is also being said that it is like same or compared with UPA Act or that NI Act. Okay, so just the sections are important, and we have covered that from Sunday's newspaper, The Hindu analysis. Refer to FAQ page of Sunday. Then Glasgow climate test. So the article is important. Why? Because it is written by Antonio Guterres, is Secretary General of UN. See, the same things are discussed, but the language, how in a standard manner they write anything. You can understand the position, Secretary General of United Nations. See, so that's why we have to take input from such articles. Okay, so again the kind of way forward it mentions, no, what actions should be required. वो ऐसे के वैसे हम लिख सकते हैं हमारे आंसर में, ठीक है. Next on page number 10, key US lawmakers bat for CATSA sanctions. See, whenever we talk about the conflicting point between India-US relations, it is always related to this particular S-400 defense systems that we procure from Russia. This is going to be delivered now in November month, and there were concerns regarding that US will invoke this CATSA sanctions against India. Okay, but now the key lawmakers in the US Congress, they are, let's say, having favorable position towards India. ठीक है, तो ये CATSA जो 2017 का law है, Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act. Remember the full form here. So we'll let's say talk about that earlier, how this CATSA was invoked against Turkey. All these aspects are important. Now on page number 11 you can see that China rejects concerns over border law. Yesterday we talked about India's official statement on this border law. Now China has officially rejected such kind of concerns. That is good thing. This is how officially they are exchanging their views on that particular law. Yes. Now directly come to page number 13. Eye on Afghanistan, China to build military base in Tajikistan. See, China was already operating one particular military base in Tajikistan in a joint manner. Okay, and now Tajikistan has agreed to transfer that military base completely as a ownership to China, and in return China has agreed to build new military base for Tajikistan in another region. See, we know that Tajikistan, neighbor of Afghanistan, neighbor of China, also it is erstwhile territory of USSR. So to some extent the cooperation growing between these countries, no, so this is let's say a link to its past, and now let's say Russia and China are coming together, no? Earlier these countries were closer to Russia, try to understand, and they were having border dispute with China. Now border dispute with China is resolved. Now China is cooperating with these countries. Also China is concerned regarding the position or situations, circumstances in Afghanistan. Okay, the same with Tajikistan and other Central Asian countries. So that's why now they are cooperating and building some kind of, let's say, military bases there. So locations we'll find out. Along with that, the article mentions about Wakhan corridor of Afghanistan. Okay, so this particular the older base that China is going to receive from Tajikistan, it is located near the Wakhan corridor. So from geography mapping aspect, which let's say which are the neighboring countries of Tajikistan and the military base, all these aspects we have to find out from the map. Okay, now let us go into details of all these articles. First article on page number 8, getting the focus back on early childhood education. See, many articles are repeating. Next 20 days climate change हमेशा news में रहेगा. If suppose the article is having some new things, then only we'll discuss. Now it is your responsibility to have follow up on daily articles and daily this video. ठीक है, आप मिस करते हैं तो वो आपका लॉस हो जाएगा कहीं ना कहीं. ठीक है, सी हम न्यूज़पेपर कभी भी मिस नहीं कर सकते हैं, अदरवाइज उसका कंटिन्यूटी ब्रेक हो जाएगा. फाइन. सो यस, फर्स्ट आर्टिकल इट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट चाइल्डहुड, अर्ली चाइल्डहुड एजुकेशन. यस, नाउ वी नो दैट NEP 2020, National Education Policy 2020, for the first time has come up with the formalization of preschool education. And it emphasizes on this early childhood education for that purpose. Okay, so we know that the brain development of any child happens up to 5 years of age, and that's why when it is given appropriate, let's say, education in that part, especially we can say that the comprehension, or we can say language skills and mathematical. ठीक है, so simply the basic learning things are then arithmetic, not mathematical, simply arithmetic and language skill. So they are able to learn at a faster level in the later period. This is actually the main significance. Simply we can say that ECE is crucial for overall development of children with impacts on their learning and even earning capabilities throughout their lifetime. The problem is that अभी क्या होता है कि 6 साल के बाद डायरेक्टली फर्स्ट स्टैंडर्ड या LKG UKG में एडमिशन दिया जाता है बच्चे को, और इवन इन रूरल एरिया तो उसको तो 6-7 साल के बाद ही फॉर्मल स्कूलिंग में इंट्रोडक्शन होता है. एंड सडनली दैट चाइल्ड इज लेट्स से इंट्रोड्यूस टू हायर लेवल फॉर हिज एबिलिटी. ठीक है, उसको एक बेसिक लेवल का इंट्रोडक्शन नहीं होता है. So it takes more time for that child, और उसका जो फास्ट लर्निंग कैपेसिटी होता है वो चला जाता है. ठीक है, so early years are more important, and that's why later on the child is not able to cope up with the new levels, first, second, third standard उसके बाद में जो होता है. ठीक है, so that's why it is emphasized. Now what is the present status of ECE in India? Some facts you should be aware here. We know that in India around 14 lakh Anganwadis are there, and in these Anganwadis basically this early childhood education was being emphasized. Basically the motive was not to emphasizing the education, early childhood education. The emphasis was for nutrition. वो आए वहाँ पे और उनको खाना मिले, न्यूट्रिशियस फूड, एंड देयर न्यूट्रिशन वाज बीइंग एंश्योर्ड. है ना? आप बताइए कि दूसरा क्या उसका फायदा था. व्हेन द व्हाट वाज द अदर मोटिव इनडायरेक्टली? एक तो न्यूट्रिशन था, ठीक है, दूसरा उनको थोड़ा बहुत चलो एजुकेशन का, आंगनवाड़ी वर्कर्स दे यूज टू प्रोवाइड सम का, बट द अदर इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड इज दैट वो ठीक है, चलो फैमिलियर हो रहा है, वो सब ठीक है. In rural areas, no, what used to happen, this child or children's care is the responsibility of elder sisters. और वो सिस्टर्स जो है वो स्कूल नहीं जा पाते थे वो बच्चे के केयर करने के लिए, क्योंकि माँ बाप जो है वो फार्म्स में या कहीं पे भी काम करने जाते थे. ये मेजर कंसर्न था. अब इसको ध्यान दीजिए, इनडायरेक्टली मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ कि ऐसा है. अब वो जब स्कूल में होता है, आंगनवाड़ी वर्कर्स दे केयर फॉर दैट चाइल्ड एंड द एल्डर्स इन द हाउस होल्ड दे आर एबल टू गो टू स्कूल नाउ. ठीक है, तो इसके बहुत सारे फायदे हैं. ठीक है, न्यूट्रिशन है, एजुकेशन है, एंड द अदर वी कैन से एक्सटर्नलिटीज अफेक्ट्स फॉर द एल्डर सिबलिंग्स. At the same time, obviously, the nutritional aspect, the burden on the family is reduced, along with the midday meal scheme जो बाकी लोगों को भी मिलता है, other children's. Okay, so this is the situation in 14 lakh Anganwadi. Let's say there are these children they are receiving, but during the last 2 years, especially because of pandemic, the access is reduced. Okay, first thing. Access to Anganwadi is reduced because ये बंद हो गया था, उनको खाना मिलना बंद हो गया था, and this reduced. Then second aspect we should understand that the we can say the quality food, this was also being questioned. There were many cases came out जहाँ पे आपको पता होगा कि वो आंगनवाड़ी वर्कर्स दे यूज टू अडल्ट देयर वाज अडल्ट्रेटेड फूड और मिल्क गिवन टू द चिल्ड्रन. ठीक है, तो जो मेन एम था, ठीक है, न्यूट्रिशन वाला, वो भी सेटिस्फाई नहीं हो रहा था, एक्सेस भी नहीं, एंड द क्वालिटी, दिस वाज आल्सो द एस्पेक्ट. Along with that, the concern is related to, let's say, the quality of teachers or Anganwadi workers, right? So whether they are having enough skills. वहां पे क्या होता है पता है? आंगनवाड़ी वर्कर कौन होता है? कोई भी एक 10th पास्ट जो विमेन होता है वहां के विलेज के ही, ठीक है, उन्हीं को अपॉइंट किया जाता है. The ultimate motive they go to Anganwadi worker is just cook the food and give it to children. ठीक है, उसके बाद उनका कोई मोटिव नहीं होता है कि उनको पढ़ाया जाए, कोई वैल्यूज दिए जाए, कोई डिसिप्लिन दिया जाए, ऐसा कोई मोटिव नहीं होता है. ठीक है, एंड दिस इज लार्जली द रियलिटी. सो वेदर वी आर एम्फसाइजिंग ऑन एजुकेशन एस्पेक्ट, दिस रिमेन्स द कंसर्न. ओके, नाउ आफ्टर अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिस प्रेजेंट स्टेटस, the article talks about there is need of active parental engagement in ensuring early childhood education. Now what is active parental let's say engagement? See, whenever we talk about the early childhood education, though the child is going to that school for through 2-3 hours, but largely it is spending time with parents, no, at house. The child is spending more time at house, so that's why the responsibility of the parents in ensuring that early education, so at house itself, that becomes also important. Now in urban areas and in rural areas, they both faces different challenge. In urban area, though parents are educated, but both are working, so they do not find enough time. Okay. Second, in rural areas, they are not educated, at the same time they do not have skills, or we can say that how to educate their children. जैसे अर्बन एरियाज में पता होता है, they know about different mobile applications, they know about different platforms, जहाँ से उनको आइडियाज मिलती है कि अब हमारे बच्चे को ये पढ़ाना है, ये सिखाना है, ये वैल्यूज देनी है. पता है ये आपको? ये अर्बन एरियाज के पेरेंट्स को पता होता है, एजुकेटेड पेरेंट्स को. बट इन रूरल एरियाज, फाइन, सो दिस फर्स्ट. एंड इन रूरल एरियाज अगेन द इंसेंटिव्स, we know that they are very much engaged in the manual work, in the, let's say, outside home, and largely the child spends time with their elder siblings. यही एक मतलब reality है. So that's why the parents, they are not having resources also and time also, and we can say that ability or skills to provide that education. Now these are the challenges and how to overcome these challenges as a way forward. Okay, so obviously first point we should talk about that when the government is supporting the early childhood education, no, or emphasizing on that, it should also emphasize on providing other social security benefits to these households, so that, let's say, food is ensured, or we can say that whenever the parents are earning, no, so उनका earning को एक supplement मिलना चाहिए ताकि उन पे वो burden कम हो, and they get to spend more time with their children. ये parental engagement कैसे आएगा? उन पे पहले burden है ना income का, livelihood का, security का. So when the government is supporting from a various aspect, then the parents will be able to provide more time. And the second we should talk about is the quality of teachers. That should be first evaluated, and then appropriate training can be given. So in this manner we should discuss about this early childhood education. You should be aware that it is now part of formal education system from NEP 2020. It has the objective of ensuring early childhood, universalization of early childhood education. Okay, so that's why it is important. Now see here the kind of question we have framed. The pandemic has highlighted the importance of active parental engagement in the early education of their children. See, one more aspect we forgot to mention here, the kind of digital divide has created because of this pandemic. So the haves and haves not in the rural areas, and we can say that the poorer households even in the urban areas, they do not have smartphone, internet connectivity. And because of that, the engagement of parents becomes very important. क्योंकि पेरेंट्स वो एजुकेशन दे सकते हैं ना आधा एक घंटा निकल के, ठीक है, जब ये नहीं हो तो पेरेंट्स एंगेजमेंट बिकम वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट ड्यूरिंग द पैंडेमिक टाइम. एट द सेम टाइम दोज हु आर हैविंग द रिसोर्सेस बट स्टिल द पेरेंट्स मॉनिटरिंग इज ऑल्सो इम्पोर्टेंट, है ना. तो ऑब्वियसली पेरेंट्स आर एट होम, चिल्ड्रन आर एट होम, एंड दे आर हैविंग द एजुकेशन ऑनलाइन नाउ. And suppose the children are, let's say, watching other videos and not the classroom videos, then it becomes responsibility of parents. ठीक है, तो हाँ, तो parents का रोल और बढ़ गया है. ठीक है. So yes, in this manner we can say that their active engagement. See what happens in Western countries, or even what is the provision under RT, important provision. There are committees for monitoring of this RT Act in the schools, and they are having the active role of parents also there. ठीक है. तो वहाँ पे हम बोलते हैं कि teachers, parents, something committee is there for every school, and there the active engagement of parents is sought for implementation of RT. वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज में क्या होता है कि पेरेंट्स आर वेरी मच कंसर्न अबाउट देयर एजुकेशन लेवल्स ऑफ चिल्ड्रन इन द स्कूल्स. उनको पढ़ाई ठीक से मिल रही है कि नहीं स्कूल्स में, ये पेरेंट्स का सबसे बड़ा कंसर्न होता है बच्चों का. ठीक है. तो वैसे ही एक कल्चर अभी इंडिया में अर्बन एरियाज में आ रहा है, बट इट इज नॉट स्प्रेड यूनिवर्सली वी कैन से, बट दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड एज एक्टिव एंगेजमेंट. ठीक है. तो टीचर्स पेरेंट्स मीटिंग होता रहता है, राइट, होता है ना, जो हमारे पेरेंट्स कभी गए ही नहीं. ठीक है. तो ये एक मेन एस्पेक्ट होता है. ठीक है. और हम लड़ते थे कि पापा उनके पेरेंट्स आए थे, आप क्यों नहीं आए, होता है ना ये. तो बेसिकली ये जो है दिस मेक्स द एजुकेशन सिस्टम more participative, and the concerns of children are very well addressed. क्योंकि children, they are in the school also, they are at home also. टीचर को पता होना चाहिए कि घर का माहौल कैसा है, और पेरेंट्स को पता होना चाहिए कि स्कूल का माहौल कैसा है ना, ये बहुत जरूरी होता है. फाइन. नाउ ए क्लाइमेट डिविडेंड, there is editorial, it talks about, yes, we can understand our commitment at COP26. It may be net zero, it may not be, but the article talks about that we should increase our NDCs, our aspirations, our commitments to this Paris Agreement. Yes, so India's likely stand on net zero. Yes, there will not be, I guess, no target year for net zero, because our, let's say, environment minister has not committed yet anything, but they have kept this window open. Fine. So the reason is we can talk about is now climate justice, है ना. What is climate justice? CBDR principle, है ना. क्या है CBDR? Common but differentiated responsibilities and individual capacities, IC. So along with that, we should also understand whatever the cumulative emissions up till now has happened. So around 75% is by developed countries. Remaining carbon space that is there, that should be used now by the developing and underdeveloped countries. This shows the climate justice, no? ठीक है, तो ये दोनों एस्पेक्ट उसमें आपने लिखने चाहिए. What would be the core message at Glasgow meet? Obviously the core message would be that the developed countries, they should be committing on, or let's say delivering on their commitments. What are these commitments? उनके जो net zero उन्होंने बोला है, या फिर about the finance and technology. So $100 billion per year after 2020. So that should be realized. The developing countries and underdeveloped countries, they will be questioning developed countries on these aspects. Okay, so yes, this is the core message that is going to be there. What India should do. Now this is also important, no? ठीक है, if we are not providing target for net zero, then what India should do? So India should increase its commitments. Already it has increased. We will say that 450 gigawatt by 2030 from renewable energy. This is enhanced commitment, right? Along with that, whatever the NDCs were given, they can be increased further. And along with that, we should bring some changes in the domestic policy. So whatever the, let's say, clean energy aspect we were talking about, there should be some kind of synergy between different countries for moving towards clean energy sources. So जैसे हम the US, UK or the other Scandinavian countries, they are cooperating with India, no? So there should be some synergy. India should build synergy so as to have technology transfer. Along with that, we should understand whatever the recovery that India is going to have, economic recovery we are talking after pandemic, that should be on the path of green growth, है ना. तो ऐसे वर्ड यूज करने, ग्रीन ग्रोथ, क्लीन एनर्जी, economic recovery after pandemic. So green growth you can mention. And when we talk about the energy systems, so there should be transformation in our energy systems. So be it energy production, be it energy consumption. Okay, so consumption, transportation sector is there, domestic sector, industrial sector. So वहाँ पे efficiency लाने की ज़रूरत है. In transportation sector, you talk about electric vehicle, shifting towards electric vehicle, right? And yes, India is taking many such measures. FAME 2 is there, or the hydrogen mission. We discussed about National Hydrogen Energy Mission in ED lecture. We discussed that, right? So that part is also there. So we are on right path in these areas, and we should commit to the COP26 in this direction only. नहीं तो पता चला commit कुछ और कर रहे हैं, domestic policies कुछ और है, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए ना. So that's why we should build the synergies. So yes, India's case can be strengthened only when a clear plan for multi-sectoral energy transition. Multi-sectoral, it is saying, no? So what are multi-sectoral? Transportation, then industry, then agriculture, then domestic, then you can say infrastructure. ये होता है मल्टी सेक्टोरल, ठीक है. सो इन ऑल दीज सेक्टर्स यू शुड हैव अप्रोप्रिएट प्लान फॉर एनर्जी ट्रांजिशन. सो जैसे इन एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर वी आर मूविंग टुवर्ड्स सोलर एनर्जी पंप्स, पीएम कुसुम स्कीम. और इन ट्रांसपोर्टेशन सेक्टर जस्ट नाउ वी टॉक्ड अबाउट इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स. Or in industries you should talk about the energy efficient use of electricity, whatever the processes are in industry processes, and we can say that whatever the manufacturing processes are there or machinery is there, so that should be energy efficient, ठीक है. Then in domestic sector you talk about energy efficiency, और वी कैन से डिमांड सेक्टर मैनेजमेंट जिसको हम बोलते हैं ना, ये सारी चीज़ें आती है इसमें. यस, एलईडी इज देयर और एनर्जी इफिशिएंट इक्विपमेंट्स आर देयर, नो, इलेक्ट्रिक जो 5-स्टार रेटिंग्स आर देयर गिवन बाय BIS. हाँ, सो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर यू टॉक अबाउट बिल्डिंग सेक्टर, है ना. तो बिल्डिंग, so there is Griha rating. Are you aware about this? Very important. Griha rating for domestic as well as commercial buildings. They are providing Griha ratings for energy efficient building. Energy efficient building, that means how, let's say, whatever the material used for construction of building or the amount of energy that is used. So minimum amount of energy, at the same time how this building is sustainable. Sustainable in a sense, it is having the solar energy plant, it is having, let's say, sewage treatment plan, है ना. तो ये सारी चीज़ें जो है हम बोलेंगे कि it is moving towards, let's say, cleaner sources of energy, less polluting, and this is what the building sector infrastructure you can write down. Now, national scientific advisors, they met on the eve of this UN climate conference and they issued joint statement, and they said that, or they together agreed in this statement that there should be some kind of plan in place at domestic level. Plan in terms of technical aspect, plan in terms of socio-economic development policies. Okay, तो ही ये ठीक से implement होगा. We have national scientific advisor to our Prime Minister, so he was also now the party to this statement. Okay, and they said that there should be plan, be it, let's say, technological developments or socio-economic development and policies. And along with that we can obviously talk about the sustainable development, and we know that if we are not acting now, the future generations will blame us. Because if you are not acting now, the burden will shift to the future generations, है ना. तो अगर हमने अभी क्लाइमेट चेंज को रोका नहीं तो क्या होगा? There will be more and more manifestation in terms of floods or droughts, or let's say more number of storms, and that will result into more economic loss, that will act as a burden to future generation. तो वो पूछेंगे कि आपने पहले ही क्यों नहीं किया, हम तक क्यों. यही तो होता है इंटरजेनरेशनल पैरिटी, सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट इसी को बोला जाता है, राइट. सो यूजिंग द अवेलेबल रिसोर्सेज इन सच मैनर दैट द एप्रोप्रिएट अमाउंट ऑफ रिसोर्सेज आर लेफ्ट फॉर द रिक्वायरमेंट और डिमांड ऑफ फ्यूचर जनरेशन. ठीक है, तो इसको सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट. फाइन, ओके. नाउ yes, Glasgow climate test, the same context. Now the writer is UN Secretary General himself, and he is giving some way forward here. warning signs are hard to miss. Warning signs of climate change. Whenever we write warning signs, you write some important aspect. Global warming, the temperatures are increasing, not only atmospheric, oceanic also. Second, reduced biodiversity or biodiversity loss. Third, you write about environment pollution. And fourth, the manifestation of all in general, you can talk about extreme weather events, their frequency is increasing. ये 4 लिखने ही चाहिए. Warning signs of climate change. Okay? Yes. Now, we must deliver if we want to achieve target of 1.5 degrees Celsius under Paris Agreement. So IPCC 6th assessment report itself had said that if you want to achieve this target, we need to, let's say, ensure that around 50% of the or 45% of the emission reduction by 2030 itself, है ना, तभी हम ये अचीव कर पाएंगे. And for that purpose, the way forward is we need to decarbonize our energy sector. Use these words, decarbonization of energy sector. Okay, then we need to shift subsidies from fossil fuels to renewable energy and tax pollution, not people. See, I was using let's say telling you कि कैसे words use करने चाहिए. Unique है ना? We need to shift subsidies from fossil fuels to renewable energy. Earlier we used to provide subsidy to petrol, diesel, or even LPG. Now also to some extent we provide that. But petrol, diesel हटा दिया है हमने, है ना? So in many countries still it is given. ठीक है? So we need to shift these to renewable energy. ठीक है? तो जैसे सोलार को और अदर लेट्स से रिन्यू बायोगैस एनर्जी है या कोई भी एनर्जी है, वहां पे आपने सब्सिडीज देनी चाहिए. देन यू शुड नॉट टैक्स पीपल, रादर यू शुड टैक्स पोल्यूशन, so that there will be some kind of reduction in pollution. Also, whatever the tax that is collected, it can be used for transition towards more clean energy. ऐसा हो सकता है? Yes. Then move towards resilient infrastructure and jobs. This is important aspect of mitigation and adaptation. Fine. So resilient, be it let's say climate resilient infrastructure, climate resilient agriculture, these are the aspects that we need to work here onwards. Then we need to phase out coal by 2030 in OECD countries and 2040 in all other countries. To some extent it is going to be distant dream, we can say, but still the writer is emphasizing this is important. Why? The most important source of greenhouse gas, thermal power plants, coal fired thermal plants, है ना? Major source of greenhouse gases, especially CO2, is combustion of fossil fuel, and that on large scale happens here. Then you can talk about transportation, then you can talk about industry. ठीक है? ऐसे आपको पता होना चाहिए कहाँ से सबसे ज़्यादा हो रहा है. Yes, and then you can talk about how private sector can also help, and the international agencies like businesses need to reduce their climate impact. That means the business activities, they need to be now concerned about their environment, climate. Whatever the processes they are adopting, they should be environment friendly. At the same time, they should align their operations and financial flows to net zero future. ठीक है? तो हमने 2 दिन पहले एक बात की थी, एक इंटरनेशनल प्लेटफॉर्म जहां पे इंडिया एंड स्वीडन केम टुगेदर. लीड इट प्लेटफॉर्म 2019 में जो शुरू हुआ था, तो उसमें बोला था गवर्नमेंट्स अलॉन्ग विथ प्राइवेट कंपनीज, दे आर बिल्डिंग सिनर्जी टू अचीव नेट जीरो बाय 2050. Do you remember that? So India along with Sweden, government of Sweden, and it is supported by World Economic Forum. ऐसा था ना? भूल गए? Revisions. ठीक है? So such kind of platforms. So basically the companies, corporates, they should be aligning their policies, investments in this direction, not to the more emission intensive, let's say, policies or their investments. Developing countries are grappling with debt and liquidity crisis. They need support. Support of developed countries, support of international finance agencies like World Bank and IMF और मल्टीलैटरल बैंक्स, ठीक है, तो उनको सपोर्ट करने की जरूरत है टेम्पररी. देन डेवलप्ड वर्ल्ड मस्ट अर्जेंटली मीट इट्स कमिटमेंट ऑफ एटलीस्ट $100 बिलियन एनुअल. ये जो कमिटमेंट दिया हुआ है, सो वो बहुत जरूरी है. अदरवाइज डेवलपिंग एंड अंडर डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज विल नॉट बी एबल टू, लेट्स से, सस्टेन. इट इज पार्ट ऑफ, वी विल से, CBDR ऐसी, ठीक है. तो क्लाइमेट फंड एंड टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर, ये तो बोलना ही है हमें वहाँ पे. फाइन, इट विल रिपीटेशन, बट कुछ यूनिक पॉइंट्स जो आपको पता होने चाहिए वे फॉरवर्ड में, ये सारा लिख देना है फटाफट. देन की US लॉ मेकर्स बैट फॉर कैटसा सैंक्शंस वेवर. सो यस, द S-400, लेट्स से, मिलिट्री सिस्टम्स, those launchers, we are this missile defense system from Russia we are purchasing. This is going to be delivered in November month. We are expecting that, and there are concerns that US will invoke some sanctions under this CATS Act. Okay, so yes, this law of 2017 countering America's adversary through sanctions act. Okay, so this CATSA, earlier it was invoked against Turkey. Turkey is NATO ally of US. Still, let's say, it bought some defense system from Russia, and there were sanctions under CATSA. Let's say many sanctions under CATSA were imposed on Russia also, ठीक है. और ये जो ईरान है या बाकी कंट्रीज है उनको भी ये होता है, ठीक है. So these lawmakers, some of the lawmakers of US in Congress, so they are now having favorable position towards India, ठीक है, कि उनको वेवर दिया जाए, इंडिया को वेवर दिया जाए, ऐसा बोल रहे. Similar kind of waiver was given under NSG, ठीक है. तो वो जो हमने इंडिया US न्यूक्लियर एग्रीमेंट साइन किया था, ठीक है, तो वहाँ पे भी हमें इंडिया को वेवर मिला था NSG का, न्यूक्लियर सप्लायर ग्रुप का. फाइन, ओके. Eye on Afghanistan, China to build military base in Tajikistan. See, it is talking about two bases. There is one existing base in Tajikistan, okay, and that existing base is going to be transferred to China, and new base would be owned by Tajikistan Rapid Reaction Group or Special Forces, financed by China for the cost of $10 million. It is located in eastern Gorno-Badakhshan Autonomous Province of near Pamir Mountains, and the Chinese troops will not be stationed there. New base, but this base is under Tajik control, but Tajikistan government agreed to transfer full control of existing facility that both sides have been using jointly, a former Soviet base not far from China, Tajikistan, Afghanistan tri-junction and Wakhan corridor, where China shares less than 100 km border with Afghanistan. ओके, तो ये चाइना को मिलने वाला है कंट्रोल इसका, ये जो अर्लियर बेस था उस, ठीक है. हम देखते हैं वो मैप पे कहाँ पे है. बट नाउ दिस इज गोइंग टू बी द सेकंड सच मिलिट्री बेस ऑफ चाइना इन ओवरसीज टेरिटरी. उससे पहले कौन सा था? We write this in Indian Ocean region like Djibouti in, yes, okay, so in Horn of Africa. So this is very important in Indian Ocean region. This Djibouti was having military location of China, okay, and this is now going to be the second one. See the location. First of all, the geography of Tajikistan, you can see here. The new base is being built in this region. Badakhshan, Nagorno-Badakhshan region is there. Okay, eastern sector of this Tajikistan. See, the first of all, geography of Tajikistan, you can see that it is bordered on the northern side by the Kyrgyzstan. On eastern side there is China. On southern side there is Afghanistan, and on west, let's say Afghanistan is also there, and here there is Pakistan also. But Pakistan is not having border. ठीक है, border नहीं है directly. Afghanistan का border है. On this side there is Uzbekistan. These are the borders. Now the important rivers, from northern side there is Sir Darya river moving like this. From southern side there is Amu Darya, but this Amu Darya river is not directly Amu Darya river. Rather we will say that, यहाँ पे दिख रहा है आपको ये Amu Darya river. ये actually river ऐसा flow होके अभी एग्जैक्टली ये अफगानिस्तान से ऐसा एक रिवर जाता है ऐसे आके यहाँ से, ठीक है, और ये आके दूसरे रिवर्स को मिलके यहाँ पे अमू दरिया रिवर बनता है. ओके, दीज अमू दरिया एंड सिर दरिया रिवर्स फ्लोज इनटू विच सी? we'll look into that map. I will tell you. We have to find out Atlas itself. Okay, so this is the location. Capital is Dushanbe, Tajikistan. You should be aware that in addition to China, Russia and India are two such countries which are having military presence in Tajikistan. हाँ, ठीक है, तो हमारा भी प्रेजेंस है वहाँ पे, रशिया का भी है, चाइना का तो पूरा बेस ही होने वाला है. Fine. So the base you can see here. This border is there ना, ठीक है, तो less than 100 kilometer border is there of China with Afghanistan, ठीक है. और ये जो कॉरिडोर दिख रहा है आपको, ये दिस इज वाखान कॉरिडोर. हम देखते हैं यहाँ पे दूसरे मैप में. पहले तो मैं आपको उसका ज्योग्राफी का माउंटेन रेंजेस का बता दूं. वी नो पामीर नॉट, ओके, एंड द पामीर माउंटेन्स आर लोकेटेड ऑन ईस्टर्न साइड ऑफ ताजिकिस्तान. This remember the other mountain ranges, there is Zarafshan range, then there is Alai range, and there is Turkestan range, like this. Okay, so remember the mountain ranges also, that is important. This complete part is of mountain range, this part is plains. Okay, now look at this location, Wakhan let's say corridor. This narrow patch extending into, let's say, near China, it is territory of Afghanistan. It is separating Tajikistan from Pakistan. दिख रहा है आपको, ठीक है. So we can say that it is narrow strip of Afghanistan extending to China, separating Tajikistan from Pakistan. तो इस रीजन से एक्चुअली पंच एंड पामीर रिवर ओरिजिनेट होते हैं. दे फॉर्म अमू दरिया. यहाँ से वो फ्लो होके ऐसे यहाँ जा रहा है, देखो होगा अमू दरिया रिवर. विल फाइंड दैट रिवर. Then the corridor was formed by an 1893 agreement between British Empire, British India, and Afghanistan, creating Duran line. So we learn that in history part, Duran line is there. Okay. And this narrow strip acted as a buffer zone between Russian Empire and British Empire. नॉर्थ में रशियन एम्पायर, साउथ में, ठीक है. सो वाखान कॉरिडोर बहुत बार PSIR में न्यूज़ में होता है, पॉलिटिकल साइंस में या हिस्ट्री में बहुत बार न्यूज़ में होता है, ठीक है. सो सिंपली द आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन, वाखान कॉरिडोर इज लोकेटेड इन, ऐसे मैप बेस्ड क्वेश्चन आपको पूछा जाता है. So if you are having the atlas, you can open this Central Asia part. Quickly we'll have a look at this Tajikistan and the river I was talking about. It flows into Dead Sea. Not Dead Sea, sorry. Which sea is there on this side? Right hand side of Caspian Sea. Just a moment. Yes, Aral Sea. Aral Sea. So you can see the map of Asia physical or Asia political. So there the Amu Darya and Sir Darya separately they are reaching Aral Sea. See, it is being said that during ancient times these rivers used to meet Caspian Sea. But उनके पानी जो है यूज कर करके उनका फ्लो कम हो गया. And now there is inland drainage into this Aral Sea. See, Aral Sea हम बोलते हैं क्योंकि उसका साइज बहुत बड़ा है, उसको अरल लेक भी बोला जाता है. Okay, so this size of Aral Sea is declining year by year because of lack of amount of water flowing into that sea. ठीक है, तो water जो है for industrial purpose, for agriculture purpose, it is getting taken out. ठीक है, तो आपको देखना है कि अमू दरिया और सिर दरिया रिवर्स मैप पे. फाइन, ओके, एंड यू कैन सी द लोकेशन ऑफ पामीर नॉट ऑल्सो देयर ऑन द मैप ऑफ एशिया फिजिकल. फाइन, so in this manner whenever some things are in news we should find from geography mapping perspective every year at least 2 questions are directly from geography mapping parties, है ना. तो हमें वो कंफर्म करना है और पढ़ाई ऐसे ही होगी ज्योग्राफी मैपिंग का. ठीक है, हमको आइसोलेटेड मैनर में हम जब ऑब्जर्व करते हैं तो हम ध्यान नहीं रखते हैं, जब करंट में होता है तो हम याद रखते हैं उसको लिंक करके. फाइन, ओके, एनी अदर क्वेश्चन दैट यू हैव, अदरवाइज वी कैन स्टॉप. ओके, यस, फाइन.
Contact us to avail the combo offer of General Studies and Public Administration optional with 20% discount.